Well, that sucks. The train just stopped right in the middle of the intersection. Alright, it's Sunday, the weekend before New Year's Day. And due to the nice weather out here in the desert southwest, we will be heading out to a off-grid camping area, kind of local to me. Reason being is, it's almost impossible to get into any state park and campground out here in the desert southwest during the winter because of our normal influx of snowbirds during the season and the massive uptick in camping. In fact, I've checked many of these parks I wanted to revisit, and you'd be lucky to get in within 3 months. It is absolutely insane. Now, in a couple weeks, I will be going to one, but it's so remote that nobody probably cares about. But for today, we'll be heading out to a spot that I've been to many a times. There are no services at all, and it is way out here away from anything, which is good. That's going to give us a chance to test a new Christmas present out, because I know for a fact that I won't have any cell phone service at all. Plus, it'll be kind of nice to be out and away from the masses. It's been kind of a strange morning. Typically, when I leave really early, things are quiet and easygoing. This morning was a little hectic. The gas stations were packed. People in a hurry, in a rush, almost running into my trailer, etc. So it's going to be good to get out and away from the crowds, definitely. Plus, this area of our local desert is a little more interesting than the last, and it has some pretty mountains around and maybe some other formations of rocks. So it should be a lot more interesting place to camp. So today we're going to do something a little different here. I'm just going to air the trailer down. I'm not going to worry about the truck because we're not going to be out in sand. But I'm just going to drop this trailer down to about 32 psi to smooth out the trailer's ride for this washboard road. And I did forget to mention that I finally got around to finding some correct metal valve stems here, so that these little TPMS sensors don't jiggle around and maybe eventually yank out the rubber ones. What you need to do for these aluminum wheels, and I'm not sure for every wheel, is Discount may even sell a TPMS sensor rebuild that will fit in here just right. These are a Michelin valve. You can buy them in packs on Amazon. I'll have to try to get you the size on that later. Alright, so I dropped the trailer tires down to about 32 psi. The way they look, I probably wouldn't ever go lower than 32, 33 for gravel road and stuff. That's probably going to be about right to smooth that trailer out just enough. And remember, if you ever do that, you need to air up before you head back out on the road and do anything over, 25, 35 miles an hour. Like I said, I didn't air the truck down on purpose because we're not going to be on soft stuff here, and we're not going fast enough to need to smooth the ride out in the truck. So I actually want the truck to feel rougher than what's going on in that trailer. That way I can kind of gauge as I'm driving that maybe I need to slow down, because I can actually feel that it's a little more rough. But right now we're going to head on down this dirt road about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 miles back, see if we can find a camp spot off the side of it. Hopefully. Looks like that trailer is riding a lot less bouncy at that tire pressure. But we'll just keep it nice and slow and under 15 miles an hour on the way out. Take our sweet time here so we don't rattle our poor little tab trailer to death. I want to get pretty far out here, so it's going to be a long, slow drive. Typically out here you'll see some bigger rigs early on. They don't like to drive too far back because it is pretty rough. So that's about normal for camping out here so far. So when you're out here in the desert, where it is aka BLM land or wildlife refuge, there are signs posted. Those are markers and boundaries to not leave the trail or the camping area off the side of the road. Not a bad morning out here in the desert. It is almost 11 o'clock and it is about 68 degrees. That sun is feeling pretty warm though. Got a lot of washboard out here, although this road isn't too bad compared to some. But that trailer is definitely riding a whole lot better at about 32 PSI. I think I could bring her back up to 33. Cool setup there. Got one of those ROG or Rogue trailers. This is definitely some rough and remote country out here. Probably about 45 minutes away from the nearest town, an hour away from the nearest major hospital. But as we get up into these hills here and a little higher elevation of maybe 500, maybe 1,000 feet, we start to see some saguaros. We got some teddy bear choyas out here. Nasty little guys. You don't want to give those a hug. It's kind of funny, sometimes at night you'll start to think that these are like people running around in the dark. Just wide open desert for the next 50 miles. A little bit of a rough section here. Just go nice and easy. It's kind of hard getting used to this going nice and slow stuff. The suspension setup I have on this truck, I'd normally be able to do this road at probably 50 to 70 miles an hour if I really wanted to, if it was safe, and not even feel it. It rides like a Cadillac, so that's the reason I left my tire pressure on the truck up, so I can feel what's going on here on this road. But 15 miles an hour seems to be about the safe zone. Just got to plan your day around it, take your time. Make sure you have a lot of fuel, that's for sure. You're going to burn a lot of fuel just cruising. Also, it's a good idea to back your brake controller down when you're off-road. That way, if you need to use your brakes, you don't lock up your trailer and skid. And as you can see, we have 0 phone service out here. So hopefully this Christmas present I got will come in handy. It's a good test for sure. Also new for this trip, we got a very nice Christmas gift from a friend. This thing is going to come in handy. That is one cool tripod selfie stick. Oh, the joys of filming yourself driving down the road. Get out, set up camera, run back to truck, drive truck past, run back, grab the camera. But it makes for a better video. Kind of a cool indicator here. Our outside air temperature is 68. And to show you this thing works, the TPMS sensor is flashing and it will beep and warn you initially. But you can see the sensor in the shade is reading 71 and the one in the sun is reading 86. That just goes to show you how warm it can get out in the sun here in the desert when it's only 68 degrees outside. Well, we're going to take our time and cruise down this dirt road a few more miles. The goal is to get a nice view of this mountain range out here. That is a crazy looking camper. That's rad. But for almost the same price, you can get yourself a tab. Everything's looking pretty green out here right now. That's pretty good. I mean, green for the desert anyway. I think we're getting pretty close to our spot here. Very nice view of the valley and the mountain range. Not a bad spot. Look at that killer fire ring too. And I forgot to bring wood. All I got is the propane pit, but good enough. Yeah, very nice area. It's pretty open out here. Hopefully it doesn't get windy, but man. All right, we got camp all set up for the weekend. Hopefully it'll be nice and quiet out here. And as usual, I can't give away my exact location because places like this are becoming more and more popular when just a couple of years ago you'd be lucky to even see a single person out here, even on a holiday weekend. Got the official desert shirt on, the El Squatcho. Must be Sasquatch's desert cousin or something. I'm about 6 miles back in off of a highway, maybe 8 miles I think, pretty close to it. The only thing I can say is I'm somewhere south of about half hour or so. The old trusty dusty tab held up pretty good. Everything looks intact and good to go. Yeah, lowering that tire pressure down to, I'd say, maybe 33 PSI works out pretty good. And while I'm at that, I need to explain that the tires on this tab are not your typical trailer tire. These are a Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runner AT. And I think they're an ST rated tire. So that would probably be like something you get on your factory, maybe off-road trucks or small SUVs or something anyway. So probably a little better than a regular trailer tire. But, you know, when it comes to adjusting air pressure and that, just be mindful of what you're doing. As you can see here, the tire isn't flat to the ground or anything, so that's pretty good. But always air back up before you hit the main paved road. Does look like door seal works fairly well. I don't see any dust intrusion in there, so that's good. There was definitely no need to wash this before I came out because it just got caked in fine powder everywhere. Now I'd normally want to put my door out here on the campfire side, but for solar reasons coming towards the evening, I'm sitting in this position to hopefully pick up some more sun later in the day here. Plus, that view coming out of the trailer in the morning is going to be way better than maybe that side. But right now it's time to test out the new Christmas present and contact the family so they know I'm alive and where I'm at. And here's the new Christmas present. This should be pretty awesome. And we're also going to be testing out this new water jug. I finally found one that makes a lot more sense, so that'll be neat. But I'm going to get this thing fired up and see how it does, let everybody know I'm alive, and then we'll get to camping and cooking maybe. But that Starlink Mini is insanely small. That is crazy, man. How cool. It was about time. Plus the package they have for the plan is like $50 for like a part-time roam plan. So it's not too expensive anymore to be able to at least have some kind of communication while you're out here off grid. So a lot more viable and doable as far as an expenditure now for me to have some kind of a communication system like that. Plus you can pause service whenever you want if you're not using it, and that really helps me out because I'm not always out and about, or may not always need satellite communication here. All right, I just got the Starlink all fired up and set up. I got it mounted up here on top of the roof of the truck for right now. I have a suction cup coming for later on, so it just has something to sit on while it's out here. And I got my power cable running in here, and I leave my extra power station right down in here anyway. And it isn't taking too much power off the AC port, believe it or not. About 26 watts to 18 watts. I am waiting for an adapter for this cable so I can run it on the DC. It should use even less power after that. But that's not bad at all. I'm going to run that all day today. I want to see what kind of data usage it goes through and power. So that'll be interesting. But I'll tell you what, that thing works phenomenal. I mean, I can't believe how good that works. I'm using Wi-Fi calling through it, and it sounds better than when I have actual 5G service on my phone. It's amazing. That's going to be a game changer for sure. The crazy thing is I wanted to test out the Wi-Fi range. So I'm going to show you how far I walked out over here, and I still didn't get it to cut out. Video is going to look a little blown out because it's so sunny and everything out here looks sun bleached, but I came clear out to here, and I'm not sure what the distance is here. Maybe 30 yards, maybe 40 yards. It could be more like 50. And I was still getting clear communication using Wi-Fi calling from here. Some were saying because that smaller unit runs Wi-Fi 5 that you may not get the distance if you have to set that little dish out somewhere away from camp in a clearing or something, but I think that's absolutely incredible, and that's far enough. I think that's amazing. I'm blown away by that. And of course the camera never picks up anything in its full glory, but this mountain range looks a heck of a lot better in person, believe me. I'll try to zoom in. It's kind of hard to tell in the wide open desert, but that's actually, I think, our highest point in the southern Arizona region, I think. About 4,000 feet. So, I mean, that mountain's a lot bigger, and we're only sitting at about maybe 800 feet right here. All right, pretty cool. I just got a call from a buddy, and he has a couple extra days off, and he's been itching to do some camping. Said he needs to get out of the house, and he's going to meet me on out here. Good friend of mine, all around good guy, and the extra company should be nice since I'm always rolling solo. It's going to take him about an hour and a half to get out here. Hopefully he makes it by dusk. I don't think he's been on the channel yet, so that should be interesting. So far, I'm really liking this new water jug. This thing is pretty cool. I got tired of using some of the other ones you could buy at the store, and the valves are always hard to turn and they end up breaking, and the seals on them end up leaking. And I'd seen this online somewhere, and I think you can get it in a 3 to 5 gallon. And the design on this thing is awesome. Got a handle on each side, a great big fill port, which is nice because you can actually stick your hand in here and clean this out by hand if you have to. And the valve down here is pretty cool. You can use a regular cap or this one with the spout, and it comes with this extra bendy spout straw thing that snaps over, and when you don't need it, it goes up in here. But this is so much easier to use. You just barely turn that, get some water out. We'll see how it does in the long run. I mean, not bad for, I think, 30 bucks or something like that. Some of the other roto-molded ones that are out there are pretty expensive. They're like $100, $150. So that way I don't cry too much if something happens to that thing. Working them brand new bushings in, man. Brand new Honda Pilot. How was the ride in that thing?
Comfortable all the way over here.
You can hear the bushings starting to break in. And that's why it's always good to have a good buddy. Look at that. Now that is a good friend. Steaks out in the middle of nowhere. Pop these in the fridge until later. Well, now you know that'll fit in there. All right, Mr. Pescado finally made it, and it's time for a beer. Yeah, finally got out camping. For those that don't know, Pescado means fish. I call him Mr. Fish because he is a master fisherman. Let me tell you what, I've seen this guy pull some serious river monsters out of the river. Probably at least a 50-pounder or two, right?
Yeah, in that neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good view, huh? Yeah, that mountain range looks nice, all lit up right now and around dusk. Man, that looks crazy with the shadow coming off of that mountain.
Yeah.
Pescado came prepared. Look at that. Yeah, the mountain's got that classic like layering going on. That's cool. All right, it's steak time. Grab one of these bad boys. We're gonna go right on the Smithy cast iron skillet over the firebox. That looks pretty cool, man.
You know, that may be your new
way to cook, huh?
yeah.
Especially Asian food, man, hot and fast. All right, let's get that out on a plate. Oh yeah, that's done. That's been sitting for about an hour. We've been having too many beers. Yeah, that's perfect though. Wow. That is a good steak. Let's see. We gotta get the pescado bite here. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That is.
Yeah, that bearded butchers is good stuff, man.
I'm definitely into that tip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? How was it?
That was a great cut of meat. Seasoning was on point. The cut was great. The marbling was perfect. That was a delicious piece of meat.
It was a pretty darn good steak. I can't believe that was a top sirloin. That was beating some of the ribeyes I've had lately. Oh, there's a little fox out here in the distance. I don't know if we can see him. See him out there? There he is. How cool is that? That is awesome. Wow. He was like 5 feet away when I figured that out. We got foxes all around. See him out there? There he goes, right there. You can barely see his eyes. They're all over the place. Come on, little buddy. You can come on in, man. That is so cool. Look at that. Well, I wish we could keep playing the jams we were playing, but due to international copyright laws, we can't do that, so you can't get the full effect and feeling of being here with us. So we're just going to chill out, relax around this little tiny firebox, and then call it a night, get up and make some breakfast in the morning. We'll see everybody then. Oof, that's bright. Yep, that was a good idea. That looks like a picture right there. Oh man, that was a good, much needed sleep. That's pretty cool. My buddy Pescado there decided to show up. If I would have known, I would have been a little more prepared and brought some extra things like a camp table and some extra supplies, but I think it's going to work out. It's definitely a slow-going, lazy camp day for sure. I think it's definitely coffee time. Time to get up and make the donuts. Oh, that is a pretty good view though. Looks like Mr. Fish here is still sleeping. We'll let him rest in. Guy works pretty hard. And we always have to do the tab door opener scene. Nice, cool, beautiful day. I'm just gonna do coffee out here on the actual camp stove. I need to save some gas on the main propane because we're gonna need a little more for tonight's fire. Man, real party animals around here, I'll tell you what. This thing was a pretty awesome buy back when I was doing a lot of tent camping, truck camping. This is a GSI Pinnacle Pro stove. That is the thinnest camp stove you can get. They are a little heavy, but these things are built like tanks. And very, very ingenious the way they open up here. And there's a way to pop this grill grate up and then fold it out. You can actually clean under everything. And the wind guards are designed to do that. And lock in. And you got your control knobs and your igniters. But this thing is pretty awesome. This is what I like to use when I'm doing outdoor cooking. It's got a heavy enough grate to put heavy cast iron on. You can run it on a bottle of propane, or you get the adapter to run it off the big propane bottle.
I did play the Powerball, so hopefully that comes in.
So if we win the Powerball, I will be living out here permanently. Today's breakfast of champions is going to be the carnivore meal. Sausage, bacon, eggs, and a leftover steak. Man, that Smithy cast iron cooks good. I've had this for probably about 5-6 years now. And this is American made. This model here is really good because it's super thick and made to go on a campfire itself. A little heavy, but really good piece if you're into cast iron, and the surface inside is super slick. It's taken a long time to really get that seasoned up, but I love this thing. I use it at least once a week. I don't always bring it with me because it's a little heavy to take on all the trips, but it makes cooking so much better. Especially having this GSI Pinnacle Pro stove. These burners are pretty awesome. I don't always like to cook in the trailer because of reasons like that. You can see some grease splatter coming up and whatnot, and it's just a lot easier. Got the good bacon today, that's for sure. Alright, now we're gonna refry our steak right in some bacon grease. I think that's gonna be pretty darn good. Alright, now we dump our eggs in. Totally get our eggshell everywhere. Right in the bacon grease. Nothing better than a nice greasy, flavorful egg from everything that was in that pan. Look at that. That's going to fry up real nice. Alright. And the Hungry Man's Carnivore Breakfast. That came out pretty awesome. Probably going to end up having a heart attack and a stroke later.
Another thing? On the top? Yeah.
Sounds good right now. I'm curious how the steak came out. Looks like it cooked all the way. That was pretty good in the bacon grease, man.
Not a good idea.
It's a pretty good breakfast, lunch, and dinner right there in one.
All in one shot. Nothing goes to waste.
Bacon came out crispy.
The applewood.
Yeah, it's always hard to get that crisped up. A little windy today, but it's a nice cool 60 degrees in the shade anyway. Not too bad. Hopefully that wind doesn't get any worse. So something kind of strange happened a little bit ago. Sitting out here in the desert, and all I hear is the breeze, and I kept hearing a cruise ship horn, just whoo, whoo, every once in a while. Well, I figured it out. Turns out it was somebody's empty bottles. So that whole Corona commercial thing is legit. That doesn't happen with the Rocky Mountain waters here. But the day's carrying on pretty nice. The wind's dying off a little bit at least, so not a bad day to sit out in the desert and have a couple cold ones. Alright, so the update on the Starlink. I ran it for 12 hours yesterday with 2 people using the Wi-Fi. I was streaming music all day off the YouTube. And my buddy Mr. Fish here, he was online all day too as well, on and off, checking things for work and family reasons. So I only used about 5 gigabytes of data in 12 hours. The power consumption was about 400 watts in total. Once I get that plugged into full DC, that should decrease the power consumption a little bit, but that's pretty awesome for data usage, man. I mean, that's plenty for a couple weekend trips a month for me. So I'm pretty pleased with that. The new water jug has been working flawlessly. I really like this thing. And with a lot of this stuff, I will try to hunt it down, and I will put links in the description area for you guys on all this stuff to help you out if you're considering buying any of this stuff or in need of it. And tonight's Hungry Man dinner, we're going to do brats and burgers. And the sponsor of the day shout out goes to Mr. Pescado for providing the steaks and the bratwurst this weekend, along with this very nice beanie. And our old sausages, they're about done and ready to roll. They look pretty good. And next up, some beef and brisket mixed burgers. I really wish there was a way to implement smell-o-vision into these videos, because that smells bomb. Gotta get the chili queso in there, right? Sip of secret sauce. Sip of secret sauce. Pepper jack, brisket, beef burgers are almost done. And our brats with chili queso are ready to roll. Oh man, that looks good. Nice snap. That's good to go. That cheese is a good idea, man. Mm-hmm.
That burger is delicious.
Pretty good?
Oh yeah. You know when I'm not talking, when I'm eating, food's good.
Yeah.
I'm done talking.
I cook half. Not a bad dinner and evening, man. Great sunset today. Alright, well, the propane's almost out, and it's getting a little cold early on, so we're gonna head on into the trailer here. Maybe chill out, watch some TV. So I went to hop out of the trailer real quick and throw on my shoes, and they weren't even my shoes. Those are my shoes. So how's it being shoved in the sardine can here?
It's warm.
Yeah, warm. It is tiny, but we ran out of propane, so we're going to chill out in here for a little bit, finish off a couple more beers, watch some TV. Just chilling out, watching some crazy Quady.
Alright, y'all. Well, before I do anything, I'm going to get fire going because it is absolutely freezing out here right now.
Yeah, Crazy Quady is a pretty cool channel if nobody's ever watched him. Pretty cool dude.
So we're gonna get a lot of snow coming off these huge trees, and a lot of it's falling on my truck. I was in there.
Another cool channel, Brian from Backcountry Off-Grid Adventures. Love watching this guy.
Live together.
Just make sure you get your shoes. Your shoes are on the right.
Alright, man. Thanks.
Turn
on the heater.
All right, it's time for Mr. Fish, Mr. Pescado to call tonight until the next adventure.
Next adventure.
All right, you have a good night, man. Don't freeze.
I'm gonna freeze.
See you in the morning. Pretty good night hanging out here. Let me turn this thing down. Oh, the luxuries of modern technology. Watching TV, hanging out in a heated trailer in the middle of nowhere via a satellite in space. So awesome. Well, this has been a pretty good trip. It was nice to have my buddies show up and have some company for once. And as usual, I'm going to probably end this video right here because it's run way too long. And by the time you watch this, it'll probably be New Year's Day. And as always, in a couple weeks, I will be out and about camping again. I'm probably going to hit a state park, which I was lucky enough to squeeze into. This year has been one heck of a year. 2024 has been the year of the tab and actually using my YouTube. I'd like to thank everybody who has liked and subscribed and left so many nice constructive comments over the last year. I'd like to wish everybody a happy and great new year for 2025. And I should be seeing you all again next year. See you in the next adventure. Thanks for watching.
Too many Coronas. Too many Coronas.